He was truly a world citizen. I often think of that when I was a kid, watching these mammoth events that he would have in places like Madison Square Garden, where he gave these fiery sermons to hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, both in terms of thousands right in front of him and then more on television. And then people would come up to accept Jesus Christ. He was just an amazing man. Traveled all over the world, was friends with one president of the United States after another, was strictly bipartisan. I worked, as you mentioned, for President Reagan. They had been friends since 1953. And in 1980, then former Governor Reagan was getting ready to go into the North Carolina primary. And of course, Billy Graham was from North Carolina. And he asked him for an endorsement. And Reverend Graham said, Ron, you and I have been friends for a long time, but if I do that, I will be getting into partisan politics, and that will hurt my ministry, and I think you'll understand, which Reagan did.
How would you describe, then, his influence on President Reagan?
Oh, I think they were very close indeed. As you mentioned, the medal that he was given in 1983, and that was because of President Reagan. They first met, as I hear this story from Jim Daly of Focus on the Family, when they were both in Dallas to attend a religious meeting hosted by a local pastor. And Reagan at that point was beginning to make the transition between his movie career and being the television host of General Electric Theater. And the local minister got up there in front of the two of them and was very blunt-spoken and castigated movies and said they were sinful and all of this kind of thing. Well, of course, here is Ronald Reagan, a grade A movie star, and he got up and in his own gentle way pointed out that movies had a lot to contribute and there were a lot of good films out there. And the pastor got back up and said he'd learned a thing or two, and from now on he would try and watch some good movies. And Billy Graham was totally impressed that his new friend Ron could be so convincing and yet not hypercritical of somebody who was being, in essence, critical of him. And they formed a fast friendship which stuck till the end of President Reagan's life.
Newsmax TV. Watch us on Dish, DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, Verizon Fios, or download our free app. Don't have Newsmax TV? Call your local cable provider and request Newsmax today.